A short monsoon diary gives us a glimpse of the diary written and maintained by a famous Indian writer Ruskin Bond. Ruskin Bond's diary. The first day being talked about is June 24. See, we can see clearly in the textbook, page number 109 in part 1. As it is written, June 24th is the first day when the mist appeared. What is the meaning of mist here? A cloud of tiny water droplets, suspended in the atmosphere. It's a noun, and we can also take a verb, cover or become covered with mist. So, the writer calls it strange how all the birds suddenly went silent as a cloud of tiny water droplets climbed up the hill. So, what happened? He tries to explain us why the mist is called melancholy. Melancholy means very sad. And here, as per the context, the mist is called as melancholy because it makes people feel melancholy, a bit sad. And melancholy by giving us two reasons. First is it covers up the mountains and hides the serene view, means calm, a pleasant view, serene in the sense. And the second one is it silences the birds here by bringing sadness. The author Ruskin Bond writes how only an hour before the mist appeared, trees could be heard ringing with the chirping of birds, means bird song, but now it was so still and silent, it seems. And when you come to the last two lines of the same page 110 in the textbook, you'll be having the writer could hear Bujji calling for his sister, but could not see him through the mist. He could anticipate that Bujji was running about on the hillside. Now, next day of his diary page is June 25th. So here on the 25th day of June that year, what happened? The hills witnessed some early monsoon rain which brought with itself warmth and humidity. What it brought, it seems, warmth and humidity they brought. And it is all different from the showers. The hills receive all air that cools the environment at such high altitude. At such high altitude, almost all the temperature will be minus degrees. The plants also knew it very well, that the monsoon had arrived, it seems, as the first cobra lily of the season plunged its head, making its way among the ferns as the writer walked till the bank and the post office. The cobra lily, see in the picture, if you observe in the page number 110 of your textbook, top right column you will be having that. Here cobra lily means common names of several plants, rare plants. Now let's move on to the next day, means what written in the diary. As per Ruskin Bond, it is June 27th, the second part of the page number 110 in your textbook. And one more thing I want to suggest, there are several meanings, heralded, imprecations, bloodletting, scarlet, minuet, drongo. These all meanings you have to work out. You have to work out with the meanings. And now, in this paragraph, what he wants to convey to us is, the rain brought with itself the news of arrival of few occasional visitors like the leopard, it seems, leopard and several thousand leeches. So on the afternoon of the day before, the leopard picked up a dog from near the servants' quarter, which was below the school. Now only this, in the evening, it ambushed one of Bujji's cows, but ran away as soon as Bujji's mother came cursing. With the leeches, on the other hand, what happened? The writer says that he must get used to losing a little blood to them every day. He mentioned a few other names that arrived with the rain, such as scarlet minuets. Here he is given scarlet minivets means bright red bird like a cuckoo. However, what happened? They moved swiftly and lightly among the leaves, given the appearance of the brilliant jewels around them, it seems. These birds are so bright in their color that regardless of how leafy the tree is, and sometimes they manage to go unnoticed by remaining absolutely silent. A bird species named drongos. Drongos, in the sense, a songbird with a stout bill. The meaning was given in the textbook, right? So sometimes it happens that these type of drongos also comes along quite unnecessarily aggressive in nature. They chase these minivets away also, it seems. Okay. During this time, a tree creeper climbs up the trunk of the oak tree, carrying insects with it. The rainy season ensures that there is no scarcity of food for the insect eating birds. It means there is no scarcity of food for them. And now, when we come to the part 2 of this monsoon diary, a short monsoon diary, the author Ruskin Bond speaks about, means he has written about the date with August 2nd. August 2nd he wrote. So please turn up it to 111 of your page of your textbook. Okay. Here the author wrote on August 2. What he wrote there, what was the sum up there? How the rain has been falling noisily on the corrugated tin roof. Here corrugated means of a material or surface shaped into series. Okay. Of parallel ridges, or means small canals. Small canals are called ridges, and grooves, so that to give added rigidity and strength. So corrugated, something a toughness. So here there was no storm or thunder, just the smooth falling of the tropical raindrops. Only that is the situation, it seems. So what happened then? It made it easier for the author to lie awake. However, at the same time, it didn't prevent him from falling asleep. That's all what happened. And he explains how the sound of rain creates a nice atmosphere for reading with the rain outside and silence within. He mentions the usual leak from the tin roof and how they give you the feeling of having touched you by keeping you untouched. Means directly don't touch you, keeping you untouched only. But somewhere leak, and the water raindrops falling on a tin roof, it gives you the feeling of having touched, and you'll be counting tick, tick, tick. Then silently what will happen? You tune your mind to count it or to enjoy it, isn't it? Now come to the 3rd of August. Here 3rd of August, the rain stops and the clouds begin to break up, it seems. When the 3rd of August, what happens? The clouds begin to separate, giving way to the sun on the writer's left. On the writer's left, it seems. Means to his left side where he was seeing the view. A woman could be seen cutting sticks into smaller pieces, and the tinkle of cowbells could be, what happened? Could be heard. A crow sitting on the oak tree shook itself to get away with the raindrops on its feathers as it cawed unhappily, and water dripped from the leaking drain pipe that carried off rainwater from the building. As everything settled, the pure song of the whistling thrush could be heard like a dark, sweet secret from the depths of the valleys, it seems. How it is? Here, the word is given in the textbook disconsolately, means which is unhappy. Okay. This is the feeling, means everything completes here, and the cloud began to break up, a tinkle of cowbells, and water drips from a leaking drain tip. That is the situation on August 3rd. So, in the part 2 of this a short monsoon diary, we have discussed part 1. Part 2, 2nd August, 3rd August. Straight away, Author Ruskin Bond put on sharing with us 12th August. Sir, why the dates are skipping in the sense? What else he feels important? We have to take from the author's point of view. That's why the title of the lesson also a short monsoon diary. It is not diary in the sense every day. See, the lesson started. When it is started, on which day it is started? Ayo, please say June 24th, right? June 24, 25, 26 is not given, 27th. And in part 2, it came to 2nd, 3rd, now 12th August. When this 12th August, what happened here? By August 12, the hills had been experiencing continuous rain and permanent mist, it seems. Already we have discussed what is mist in the first paragraph or the June 24th section. They had not seen the light of the sun for about a good stretch of 8 to 9 days, it seems. They didn't see. They had not seen the light of the sun for about a good strength of 8 to 9 days, it seems. Everything in the surroundings was how it is, slightly wet and moistened. Someone could not go anywhere. They can't go. The only option was to move to and fro in the room or look out of the window at a few umbrellas moving suddenly. The author is pleased that it was not cold rain. The vegetation could be seen growing luxuriantly and abundantly on the hillsides as the last monsoon flowers began to blossom. A few flowers that began to appear are wild balsam, dahilas, and begonias and ground orchids. Only these flowers you can see, it seems. The author is observing only these. Okay, see in the picture, page number 112 to the top left column, we can enjoy that picture. You can see that. And when it comes to the August 31st, August 12th was discussed, 12th August, and immediately the observation was noted from his diary is 31st August. Here it is the last day of August and the lush monsoon growth has reached its peak. How it is? It reached its peak, it seems. The monsoon vegetation growth has reached its peak by the time and the color changing of the seeds of the cobra lily. We have discussed the cobra lily too. Rid hinted at the end of the rainy season too, it seems. Like there, some days passed away and the flowers, flowerless plants or the ferns. What happened here? Ferns means a flowerless plant with feathery green leaves. That's it. And these will begin turning yellow against their present fresh green color as they stand firm and upright, it seems. They will be turning into yellowish color. And when there is some fashionable further move, the wild dahlias, red, yellow and magenta, turn their heads back towards the narrow opening in the rocks where they had taken hold, it seems. By the time they may say, don't kill it, admonishes their grandmother. Chachandars are lucky, they bring money. And sure enough, I receive a check in the mail, not a very large one, but welcome all the same. So he has received. Here we have to discuss one thing. The snakes and rodents that have come out of their holes and burrows in huge number took shelter in roofs, attics and godowns, it seems. A small insectivorous mammal resembling a mouse, namely a shrew, with quite a weak eyesight, moved about clumsily in the room. It acted as a source of entertainment for the children. Their grandmother warned them not to kill it because chachandas, as they called in Hindi, who's this resembling a mouse, an insectivorous mammal, and known to bring money and prosperity. The author jokes about it and says that he surely receives a check in his mail, although not a huge amount, but welcome. Anyway, it means just he cracked a joke there. It means saying that they bring money. Now next move on to the October 3rd. We have gone straight from monsoon into the winter rain, snow at higher altitude. And this month of October took the mountains straight into the winter rain as it marked the end of the extended monsoon seasons, it seems. and the highest altitudes were covered with snow on the 3rd day of October, 3rd October, and it is experiencing a hailstorm an evening before. When come to 26th January in the page number 113 at the top, he has given water rains in the hills. The author talks about the 26th day of January when he was all alone in the quiet and still house. The friend who accompanied him a while ago has also gone. He mentioned how it was very lonely and quiet as he sat in complete silence, experiencing the silence within. So he was in doubt how I can bear this silence. He was surrounded by the rhythm of the rain, the slow and gentle movement of water on leaves, lemons, and the roof as it drummed on already wet and window panes. The mist covered the house gently in its darkness. And then what happened? Last paragraph related to 23rd March. So late March, it is end of the winter, it seems. See, 26th Jan, winter rains in the hills, and now late March, end of the winter. The blackest cloud I have ever seen scratched over Missouri. And then it hailed marbles for an half an hour. So as the author stood there, and next he writes about this March that marked the end of the winter season, he recorded having seen the darkest cloud resting over Missouri. It poured hail that looked like marbles for about 30 minutes, it seems, half an hour. He reveals how there is nothing like a hailstorm that clears the sky. He mentions that even as he was writing his diary, a rainbow was in its formation. See, a rainbow formation when he was put on his words in the page 23 March. This is all his experience of whom? Ruskin Bond. So totally here the author describes monsoon and some part of the winter season in Missouri and Landor in his diary. Okay, so total days it almost rained 8 to 9 days, and then he experienced the first day of the monsoon mist, and last at late March, the end of the winter also he experienced, and he is a witness with his diary. Okay, thank you.